Uh, what's up, Tokos? It's Trent, aka TradeMark here, and it has been a while. It has been a while. Uh, I quit playing Force Arena a few months ago for several reasons, but primarily it was because I felt like um, Netmarble wasn't prioritizing the game compared to the other games that they develop. Uh, kind of felt like Force Arena was just kind of a side project, so to speak, um, and I wasn't seeing the marketing necessary to promote it to grow the player base, and I wasn't seeing the communication that I would have liked to see from their company, and so it just kind of felt like it was falling apart, and we were losing tons of activity in our guild. And basically, I just it just kind of became a burden to keep playing it every day, and so I quit. But this past week, a couple guildmates of mine from Ascendance reached out to me and said that a representative from Netmarble, was trying to get a hold of me, and so I responded to him, and he let me know that he wanted me to check out the beta for their Force Arena 2.0 update. And when I first heard that, I was a bit taken back because um, a little history here. Back in December, in the soft launch of the game, before the game was even released, I reached out to Netmarble, to one of their community managers, and I told them, I said, hey, me and another co-leader of Team Instinct, his name is Barack, we came over from Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, another mobile game, and I told Netmarble, I said, hey, Barack and I are going to create a division of Team Instinct for Force Arena. And I basically told them that I expected our guild to be one of the biggest guilds in the game, to be one of the most active guilds in the game, and to be one of the biggest spending guilds in the game, just because of our history in other games. And um, I, I, I reached out to him. I said I would like to establish some type of communication line between us and the developers so that we can send you guys feedback and suggestions about the game. And back then, they told me that they didn't have anything like that set up and they weren't planning on doing anything like that. Which was a little strange to me because it wasn't like I was asking for like any favors. Um, I honestly, the main reason for it was because I wanted to have some direct way of providing um, high quality feedback. I mean, like if you look at Mobirom, there's a lot of god awful suggestions on there. I mean, just trash suggestions. Okay, I mean things like, oh, give us all the cards for free and give us daily legendaries, and like, I mean, you can't support a game like that. Just completely unfounded ideas on that forum. And what I was offering was feedback from a very specific group of people who were their most active players who played the game and were going to witness the most bugs. They're going to witness the most play. They're going to have very high level of play, and they're going to play a lot, and they're going to be able to suggest things, and primarily it was suggestions to improve the game as a whole, not like minute suggestions like nerfs and buffs and whatever. Because I've agreed with I actually think that Netmarble has an incredible balance team. Whoever does the balance updates, I've agreed with nearly all of them. I've agreed with Netmarble for the majority of things about this game. But yeah, I was a bit taken back because I kind of felt like, well, it's a little too little, too late type deal. I kind of already stopped playing the game. But he told me that they have a U.S. division that really wants to be involved with community outreach. So they reached out to a lot of different content creators, a lot of different people in the community to not only test this beta, but to start creating the relationships with these people that will allow feedback and suggestions to funnel in to improve the game for the community. And so that, I mean, that was good. I wish they would have done that back in December when I had asked them to, but I said, okay, you know what? Yeah, let me check the beta out. Let me see what it's all about. And rather than talk about the actual update, because there's plenty of other YouTubers that will talk about the cards and what the update brings, I want to talk to you guys about the game's potential and where I see it going from here. I created this list back when I was very active in the community and I was moderating the Reddit and the Discord channels. I would write down suggestions, ideas, quality of life changes that were either presented by the community or by a guildmate or just things that I thought of myself, and I would write these down. And I was reviewing this list today before creating this video, and I was pretty shocked at the results of it. So let me put this on the screen here. Replay system implemented. A faster way to purchase cards from shop like Slider implemented. Faster way to open card packs implemented. Show all the players in the co-op mission contribution list, including 0 turret players, implemented. Be able to show a guild roster alphabetically or be able to sort that list, implemented. Co-op mission contribution refreshes and scrolls to the top. I think that was some kind of bug. I didn't notice that, so I think that's fixed. Option to turn chat filter off or fix it at the very least. There used to be a god-awful chat filter on the game. I'm not sure if that's been fixed or not, but it's kind of irrelevant anyways. Most guilds don't use the in-game guild chat. Fix the exiled application rejection bug. That's just a bug. I'm not sure if that's been fixed or not. Make a separate tab for card trading and replay. So the guild chat used to be filled up with a bunch of garbage. Make separate tabs for that. That's been implemented. When players leave guild and rejoin, show their previous contribution. I'm not sure about that. Additional value for boosters such as auto unlocking packs. Currently the extra slot is pointless. It's actually quite funny. If you guys remember a few months back, I did this rant video. It was like an hour long where I just sat there and just ranted about a bunch of random shit that like I was frustrated about having to click to just buy the cards one by one. And I was just ranting about a lot of garbage, but it's actually funny how much stuff within that video has actually been implemented into the game. And I'm not going to be conceited enough to say that the changes were made entirely because of that video, but I'm guessing that someone at Netmarble must have seen that, because there's a lot of things suggested that I talked about in that video that have been implemented into the game. Most specifically is the Hearthstone like arena mode where you select, like, it's draft, so you have two choices of cards, and you pick one of your cards to draft your deck, and then you get to play kind of like a arena mode there. And I talked about that in that game. But anyways, additional value for booster packs. That now you can auto unlock your play packs, which is a huge boost, which is a huge upgrade for booster packs, makes them much more valuable. And before they were a little underwhelming, so I'm really glad they did that change. Crystal subscription in order to get bonus crystals for your purchase. They implemented that. I haven't done the math on it, but I assume that a crystal subscription is going to be more value than buying them flat out. So with the caveat of you having to log in daily, which you're going to do if you're a pretty hardcore player. And then arena mode, I haven't gotten a chance to do that. So let's talk about the three things that were not implemented. I suggested that cosmetic purchases be implemented into the game, and I'm a big proponent for cosmetic purchases because cosmetic purchases allow a player to support a game without influencing the gameplay. And what I mean by that is the biggest complaint I hear about mobile games, about freemium games, is that they're pay to win, they're pay to play. And allowing players to support a game that they like without it affecting the game, how you interact with whatever, that's really big. In fact, I would say that your game has to be very enjoyable and entertaining for people to support it cosmetically. And there's huge franchises like League of Legends, which are funded almost entirely on cosmetic or non-gameplay influencing purchases. There are a few things that you can purchase in some of those games which kind of help you out, but for the most part, cosmetic purchases are a good thing for a game. Next of all, horde mode or challenge mode against AI. So I talked about in this rant video that there needs to be a way for players to experience this game without a direct PvP experience. They either need to be able to play with their friends against AI, like in a horde mode, which is kind of like the zombies mode, just unending waves of increasingly difficult AI enemies, or a challenge mode of some kind, which could be like some type of time challenge with using leader abilities. I mean, there's plenty of suggestions, but there needs to be a way for players to play and enjoy and also earn their play packs and earn their rewards without being online and without playing PvP. You need that because you need to cater to those casual players who are not always looking to really go into the PvP mode and try that out. Now, the opposite of the casual mode is the tournament mode. And in all honesty, a tournament mode is the one thing that would convince me most to return to and play this game a lot. The tournament mode is definitely the competitive experience. It's for the people that are very competitive who want an equal playing field to compete with the best players in the game. And so how I envision this tournament mode working is that you would go in and you'd pay some type of entry fee. Could be real money, could be crystals, whatever. You get entered into this tournament. Now, because of scheduling, it's not going to happen at one time. Maybe the tournament lasts a week or whatever. And during this week, you play as much as you can. And when you play against players that are rated higher than you, you get more points. I mean, it's just like the ladder works now, except for it's a little more aggressive to balance things out. So it's not just the people that grind a ton. It's the people that have really high win rates that are going to rise to the top. And so what you end up with is however you end up tallying these scores, you basically end up with the players who can consistently win against other top players in the game with equalized card levels. It's basically an open battle royale style tournament using equalized card levels. And that is literally the biggest desire of mine in this game. In fact, the times when I have had the most fun in this game have been during the Kyber Cups, where you play against some of the best players in the game with equalized card levels, because there's no gimmicks, there's no excuses about pay to win. I mean, there's plenty of excuses. Everyone losers are always going to have excuses, but there's no card level to rely on anymore, and it's just a lot of really skilled gameplay and a lot of really fun games. And those are some of my funnest memories about Force Arena, were those tournaments and so having that tournament mode, unfortunately it only caters to a small group of players. There's the number of people who would really enjoy that super competitive environment. I'm not sure how many would participate. Well, maybe you could do rewards so that like the top 10 got special rewards, like cosmetic rewards. Again, this is a perfect way to introduce cosmetic, but like the top 10 players got special rewards, maybe the top 3 got even super special rewards, but then everyone, based upon how many games you played or whatever, got some type of reward for participating. And it's kind of like how draft mode is now, except for draft mode doesn't. It's just like arena mode. You're basically just trying to win enough without striking out to get your own personal rewards. It's not competing against everyone, and it's light side versus the draft mode allows you to mix up factions and different things. So those 3 things are still missing from the game. And here's kind of my thoughts about this update. Is when I went in, the one thing that was very blatantly obvious to me from reading this list and looking at the update is that Netmarble truly is listening to the community. They're reading the Reddit and Mobirum, and they're trying to get as much community feedback, and then they're implementing it into the game. Now, development takes time, and I'm aware of that. I work for a development company, and I understand the dev cycle, and I understand that it takes a lot of time to get things all the way from the creations or the idea of something and actually implement that into the game and launch it. I'm fine with waiting. What concerned me was the lack of communication about the direction of the game and kind of what was coming up. And I feel like the new outreach by Netmarble, the new update. I mean, it's a really cool update. It's got a lot of units, but I'm not too concerned about the units and the changes to the game. I'm more concerned with the long-term viability with this game. Is this update going to make more people want to test it out, and is it going to make more people want to stick around and play? And so the glimmer of hope that I have is that Netmarble is listening, and they're taking feedback, and they're trying to make this a good game, which is great news. It's enough for me to give this game another chance. And so I am going to start playing this again, probably not to the same extent as I was previously, but I'll be playing it and kind of checking things out and seeing how things are going. The biggest concerns I have about this game's future, this game's potential, is that I feel like they're still kind of not sure where they fit inside the market. And what I mean by that is they're still making changes that don't make sense to the general public. For example, like when 2v2 ranked was taken away, a lot of the community was upset, and a lot of the community didn't understand it. And I don't have the internals, but my assumption was that those changes were made for a bigger purpose, a bigger reason. And that was kind of confirmed to me in this most recent update. So one thing that you're going to see in this update is that they are taking a few things away that people are going to be the community is going to be upset about it for sure. One of those things is they're taking away trading. I didn't see card trading in there. I also didn't see play packs. Play packs have been replaced by something called battle rewards. And battle rewards are just crystals that you earn. But the issue is that the rewards, the community's not dumb. They're going to do the math. The rewards are not equivalent from the old rewards to the new rewards. The old rewards were 2 gold play packs a day that you could earn, or I think it was 2 gold packs, and the new rewards are like 70 crystals a day, which is pretty irrelevant compared to 2 gold packs. So and same with trading cards now. Now that you can't trade cards, it's here's the thing. Force Arena is a great game to play if you're a free-to-play player. It honestly is. I've never seen a game which allows free-to-play players to compete at the very top and be rewarded so much for just investing time. You don't have to invest money and you can still compete at the top in this game. However, Netmarble is making the mistake of Netmarble doesn't owe you anything. They don't have to give you anything as free-to-play players. They could, I mean, you'll probably go away if you feel like you're being gypped and screwed over, but they don't owe you anything necessarily. And that being said, if they're giving away something for free and they take that away, there's going to be backlash. So they take away the ability to trade cards. They take away play packs. They also take away 2v2, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of frustrated people to varying degrees of frustration, right? I did get a little bit of feedback from the Netmarble employee about the 2v2 removal. So 2v2 is not actually removed entirely from the game. It's going to rotate in with the arena draft mode. And so I'm not sure if that means like one season is going to be a draft mode and then the next season is going to be 2v2. I'm not sure, but it sounds like it's going to be rotated in. So it's not going away completely. The issue is though that you still remove the ability for people to play the game that the way that they like to play it. And so there's going to be some backlash there, just like there was backlash when they took away the ranked leaderboards there. Personally, I feel like what they need to do is they need to make a tournament mode that's 1v1 with equalized card levels, and then they should actually make the 2v2 mode the mode where you can play with your actual card levels. So your 2v2 is like your ranked play now, which is you can team up with people and you can have your ultimate card levels, which there's going to be card level advantage, disadvantage, but it gives people an incentive to grind cards and to buy decks and whatever, because you can't just always have equalized playlists. You have to have a playlist where there's a literal card level advantage and the ability to purchase that card level advantage in order for the game to be funded. But if you create those two things, I mean, the point is that I think what he said specifically was that the matchmaking experience has been subpar to this point. And I would completely agree. In fact, I feel like the biggest issue this game is plagued from is matchmaking issues. And those matchmaking issues stem primarily from a small player base. It's not small when you compare it to, I mean, it's pretty big as far as mobile games are concerned, but if you compare it to something like Clash Royale, it's tiny. It has nowhere near the amount of players necessary to create even matchups with other players. So what happens when you have a low player base? If you segment your players, so if you have a 1v1 mode and a 2v2 mode, and you have other restrictions like light side versus dark side, Clash Royale isn't plagued by those issues. They have a huge player base. Anyone can play anyone. There's no light side versus dark side. And what that creates is, with this type of setup, you have to do one of two things. You have to either delay matchmaking, so you have to make players wait for a long time to get a game in order to find a balanced, fair matchup, or you allow unbalanced matchups to happen. And neither way is a good solution, unfortunately. If you make players wait an hour to get a game and they're playing the same 10 players, this is for players at the very, very top of the leaderboards that have thousands of rating ahead of the next closest players. They're going to play the same 10 players, and they're only going to play when each other's on, or they're going to wait hours on end to get a match. The other option is the longer that they wait, the more flexible the matchmaking becomes, and eventually they allow an unbalanced matchup, and that's not enjoyable either. It's certainly not fun for the underlevel player, because they feel like it's just an instant loss, which it pretty much is. If you're a level 12 player, get matched against a max level 16 commons player, you're going to get trashed. It's very, very unlikely that you win that game, and so it's not an enjoyable experience there. and it's not really an enjoyable experience for the player at the top either, because they're just smashing on people that have no chance of winning, which I guess could be enjoyable for some people. But the point is, the matchmaking, I kind of felt like that's why they're trying to consolidate everyone back into the same playlist. And that's okay. It's okay to do that, but I feel like they need to offer different ways to play the game that are still enjoyable without hugely segmenting the player base. And I don't have a perfect solution for that. I've given kind of my suggestions on what I think might work, and I feel like some of those other game modes might help the casual experience and help prevent players from dropping off and stopping playing the game. But I don't know. At the end of the day, it's all just conjecture. So anyways, that's pretty much it for me, guys. The update should be out by the time that I post this video, so go check it out. Do me a favor and just post in the comments below if you guys have ever played Force Arena, and if you have played it in the past, if you stopped playing it at some point, or if you're still playing it to this day. I'm a little curious to hear how many. A lot of you, I'm sure, are probably subscribers of mine from finding Force Arena videos, and so I'm curious to see how many of you are still active, and if you're going to give this 2.0 update a chance and see if you like the game again. I would suggest at least downloading it if you played it in the past and just check it out. It is a pretty cool update, and more what's going to convince me to stick around is to see how communication changes, and how quickly feedback is kind of looked at and implemented into the game. And so, anyways, guys, that's it for me. Malo, aupito. Thanks for watching. I only got to play, I'll try and post all the footage I can in the background of this video, but I only got to play like 5 matches against actual players. The rest were AI, because there's so few people in the beta, and so I'm really excited to play tomorrow and this weekend, because I'll get to play against actual players. So anyway, guys, see you around. Malo, aupito. Thanks for watching. Peace. I'm out of here.